Congratulations to the 2024 Birmingham Stallions at becoming the first team in the United Football League to clinch a postseason berth. That's right, we are just 6 weeks into the UFL season, and we're not even done with the full 6 weeks when this is being recorded, and the Birmingham Stallions have already officially clinched a playoff berth. How'd they do it? Well, the first thing is the fact that this team is currently riding a 13-game win streak overall. Dating back to Week 6 of the 2023 USFL season, this team hasn't lost. They beat the Panthers, the Breakers, Stars, Gamblers, and Showboats to end the season last year in the USFL. Then they destroyed the Breakers and the Maulers to win the USFL championship last year, their second straight title. And this year, they're still just continuing that trend. They are 6-0, having beaten the defending XFL champion Renegades, the Michigan Panthers, the Memphis Showboats, the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks, and the Showboats again. That's right, this team has just been otherworldly. 13-game win streak is unbelievable, and it just shows the dominance this team has. And this is despite the fact that they still are playing two different quarterbacks. Now, while in recent weeks it looks very much likely that Adrian Martinez will be the starter for the remainder of the season, both Adrian Martinez and Matt Corral have both played exceptionally well. Now, Martinez has elevated himself to be the number one QB option here, as he is, at the time of recording, the league's leader in rushing yards, as well as being one of the leaders in passing yards at 971, having had multiple incredible games. His 7 passing TDs rank among the top of the league with only 1 interception as well. His 108.1 passer rating is an insane stat line as well. This team's quarterback room has just been incredible. And this is with the fact that Jamar Smith still hasn't played. Now, while there are questions about Jamar Smith's health, the fact that he hasn't even needed to see the field at all shows just how good these two guys have lived up to be. But of course, it's not just them. This team has a bunch of other legit stars. This team has had 2 separate kickers who have both been incredible. Now, while Ramis Ahmed, who is the current kicker, has missed a couple of field goals, his insane game against the Defenders is what helped them to stay undefeated. And the fact is, this team has other great players. Keava Tizino and Carlos Davis are 2 guys that come to mind on defense, the team's leader in tackles and the team leader and league leader in sacks with Carlos Davis. This is despite a bunch of injuries. We recently heard troubling news that Scooby Wright does look like he is retiring. And aside from him, there still is a lot of other talent on this team. Despite all the issues they've had, they're still among one of the league's best defenses. And then when you look at their rushing attack, aside from Adrian Martinez, Ricky Person Jr. and CJ Maribel have become an insanely good 1-2 punch. Both of them pretty much have just swapped starting roles, but both of them are almost identical in many stats. Both have almost the exact same amount of total rushing yards and rushing average, but Ricky Person Jr. has an insane 6 fumbles already. But then receiving-wise, this team is really threatening. Just their big 3 of Deion Kane, Jay Sternberger, and Marlon Williams should put fear into a bunch of teams. But we've seen a bunch of other just breakout performances this past week. We saw Jordan Thomas have a couple insane plays. This team has a loaded roster, and it's why they're so dominant. And the fact is, just look at their stat total. Now, yes, some of these stats will change. Again, this is being recorded before the Sunday games. But when you look at it at this exact moment, they're leading the entire league in kicking points, turnover differential, rushing yards, passing yards, and yards per game. They're leading the entire league in sacks as well, and in fact, they're tied with the Brahmas in points allowed, despite the Brahmas having played 1 fewer game than the Stallions. And in third down percentage, they're below the Renegades by 0.1. That's how dominant this team is. In every single sense of the word, this team has been dominating the entire league. It is no shock that this team is the first team to make the playoffs. It was obvious ever since week 1 against the Renegades, this team was still as good as we thought it could be. And guess what? They're going to the playoffs. Congratulations to the Birmingham Stallions. Good luck on your three-peat.
But winning's hard. Winning is hard, and it takes a lot of commitment from Sunday all the way through the week.